Well, a warm welcome to anyone joining. Thank you for being here. Get yourself ready with a notebook, grab a pencil or a pen. Whatever you choose to write with is fine. This is math from the void. Math coming at you pretty much out of nowhere. And today we have an SAT quick math problem involving two lines. Mentions the graph of these lines, but you don't have to graph the lines if you don't want to. I'd like you to pause the video and give yourself about a minute and a half or 2 minutes to solve this problem. Try it out for yourself first. It should be fairly easy. It's pretty much an Algebra 1 style problem. Although there is this very SAT-like thing that they're going to have you do. They're going to have you find some missing variables, P and Q, but the final answer needs to be the sum of P and Q. So just be careful about that. A lot of times when students are working on SAT or test style problems, they don't read the question carefully enough, and so they answer a question that's not being asked, and they do everything correctly for answering that question, but since that's not the question being asked, they get the answer wrong and they basically wasted their time. So don't do that. Read the question carefully every single time. Alright, you can pause the video to give yourself some moments to work this out, and then when you're ready, come on back. See how we did it here. Now let's read the question. The graph of a line, so we have a line, passes through these points. So I can find the equation of that line pretty easily. Let's see if I'll need to do that or not. Then we have a second line. The second line, they give us a slope and a point. Okay, so I could also write the equation of that line. It would be in point slope form or slope-intercept form, since this happens to be the y-intercept that they gave you. So I could write the second equation as y equals 6x plus 1. Okay, great. And the first line that was given, that one's going to take a little more work to do. We have to find the slope first. So we're going to do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so we get negative 8 over 4, which is negative 2. And now we have to use this in order to figure out the equation of the line. So we can say something like y minus 1 equals negative 2x. Oopsie, y minus 3, sorry about that. Y minus 3 equals negative 2x minus 1. And so if we move everything all to one side, we would get an equation of y equals negative 2x plus 3. Now this is not the only way to do this problem. Let's continue reading. If the two lines intersect at P and Q, what is the value of P plus Q? So we want to find where these two things intersect. And with lines, they intersect whenever the slopes are not the same. Otherwise, they are parallel lines and they might not necessarily intersect. But if the slopes are not the same, they definitely will cross at some point. And remember that intersection, oh, it's very large. Intersection occurs when both x and y are equal. Let's make this a little larger, but also move it over here. So because of that, we can set both of these equations equal to each other. And this is very easy to solve now, right? Add 2x to both sides, subtract 1 from both sides, divide both sides by 8, and we get 2 over 8, which is also 1/4. It's not the nicest number, but it's not too bad. So we have an x value of 1/4. That's going to actually be our p. And now in order to find the q, we can just plug that in. Y equals negative 2 times 1/4 plus 3. It's a little fraction work, guys. Don't be scared of fraction work. It's very simple fraction work. We have negative 1/2 plus 3, which is 6 halves. So that gives us 5 halves, and that is our q. So we've determined that the intersection occurs at 1/4, comma 5 halves, but this is not what they're asking for. They're asking for p plus q. So we're simply going to add these together. 5 halves is just 10/4 for a grand total of 11/4. Okay, so pretty simple there. You don't have to graph these, even though it does use the language, the graph of a line and the graph of a second line. You really don't need the graphs here because it takes time to graph them, and we don't even know if we'd be doing them, drawing them perfectly. So we don't want to risk anything like that. We just want to trust the algebra and trust the math. Now, in that process, we have to set these two equations equal to each other once we've found what their equations are. And even after solving that equation, we're not done. We have to add the value p with the value q. So always be sure to carefully read the question, otherwise you're just wasting your time. It doesn't matter how fast you can do a problem if you're answering the wrong question. All right. Okay, I think that's enough blab out of me. Short one. I'll see you guys next time.